Hey everybody, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to True Ambition Fitness. Today we are doing something completely different in the fact that we are outside. But I'm still sticking to the blind focus in my series. So I'm teaching you guys out there how somebody in my situation, being blind, gets around, how we maneuver and how we adapt to different situations. So if you're curious, go ahead and stay tuned to True Ambition Fitness. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. As you can see, I have a few different types of canes here. This one right here is a sturdy cane. This one's solid, and it's a lot more easy to feel all the tactile stuff on the ground. A lot easier to find cracks and stuff like that. Because with this one, it shows me all the different vibrations and all the different things that are in front of me. I want to show you how I use this a little bit later. Then there is this one. As you can see, it's folded up. It folds up into 5 different pieces, and it's held together by the bungee at the end. Pretty useful device in the fact that I can fold this thing up when I don't really know where to set my cane off to the side, and I can just put it in a holster on my side. Or some people don't even have a holster, they can just put it in between their legs or somewhere when they sit down. It makes it really easy when you can fold it up. Other ways that you might have seen some people who are visually impaired get around is human guide. You're kind of confused by that, or you might have seen my other videos when I spoke about it. Human guide is when somebody that is not visually impaired assists somebody that is visually impaired. Talk a little bit more about in depth on how you guys out there can assist somebody who's visually impaired in getting around. Then there's the guide dog. You all have seen them, you all have heard of them, you know what they are. They're the dogs, they're the service dogs that assist the visually impaired. They're called guide dogs because that is what they are. They literally guide us around. They are our eyes, and they also know exactly what to do in certain situations. But they still are a dog, and they do make mistakes, just like humans do. So you can't trust on them completely, but the cool thing is I'm on a waiting list, and I'm waiting currently for one, and I cannot wait. For me, I feel that they are more of a companion and can assist you in being more self-efficient and get around without anybody else's help. So let's get started into depth onto all of these different ways that somebody who's visually impaired can get around. Okay, so as you can see, left, right, left, right. I'm walking, right? Okay, so when you are walking, when you're visually impaired and using a white cane, what you have to do is actually, well, sway your cane to the left or the right, depending on what foot you're sticking forward. So if it's your left foot, you're swinging it to the right. Why? Well, because what you're trying to do is find out exactly what is in front of you. 2 to 3 feet. Okay, so when I swing my cane to the right, that means my right foot's going to be taking the next step. So I know what's to come. Same thing when I'm going to the left. My left foot will be coming next. So it's the opposite foot to which way you sway. It takes a little bit of getting used to, trust me. But once you do, it becomes second nature. Then you're going to notice when somebody like me is walking with my cane, my wrist is bent and I'm swaying at my wrist. Well, the reason I move the cane at my wrist and not with my elbow is, one, I can keep the cane centered in my body. And when I sway back and forth left and right, it's going to be perfectly centered. Then you'll also notice the bent, right? My wrist is bent. Why is it bent? It's so I do not rack myself. It has hit me in the stomach many, many times, and also in the groin, which kind of sucks. But that's the reason you actually have the bent in your wrist. So as you hit that crack, the cane will bounce up towards you, upward and not directly back. So it gives you a little bit more time to actually adapt to the situation that's going on. That's right. I said adapt. I got to adapt to so many different situations and so many different things happening to me. You're visual. You can see what's coming up. Somebody's walking right towards me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move to the left. I'm going to move to the right. That's exactly what you guys think. And you do it without even thinking. It becomes second nature. Us, we can't do that. We have to actually think, okay, if my cane hits this, what am I going to do? Am I going to stop, evaluate the situation, or am I going to try to move to the left, to the right? You got to know what's going on. You got to know where you're at. That's the thing. Location, location, location. That's the most important thing when you're visually impaired. One thing you'll notice, as I'm walking up the stairs, I'm going to have my cane directly out in front of me, about 2 steps, right? And then I'm going to have my wrist kind of limp, and I'm going to be holding it up, straight up and down. By doing that, I'm going to know exactly what stairs or how many stairs are coming up. And then I'm going to know 2 steps in front of me when the stairs end, so I can adapt to that situation. Same thing when going down, but I keep my arm straight out and I'm about 2 steps in front of me. So I know 2 steps ahead of time when the end of the stairs is gonna happen. And so I don't trip and fall on my face. Okay, so you're also gonna notice I'm gonna come up to obstacles sometimes. Certain things, whether it be a curb, something in the middle of the sidewalk, a trash can, something. And see, I have to learn one thing as a visually impaired person with my cane, how to adapt to that situation. I gotta know, okay, once I find this, I gotta use my cane to kind of fill it out, to fill out what it is. And you don't always want to use your hand because, well, one thing, you don't know what it is. You can be sticking your hand to a trash can or something like that, so kind of fill it out with your cane first. And one thing that you might notice, people say stick a lot. It's not a stick, it's a cane. It's called a white cane. And if somebody who actually is really picky about it, they might actually get on you about it. Me, I used to call it a stick all the time just because that's what my kids called it. And oh man, when I went to the school, they got on me about it. Oh my goodness, do not call it a stick. It is a cane. It is a white cane. You say it right, boy. Okay, it wasn't quite like that, but okay, so you got to adapt to certain situations. One thing that you're going to have to adapt to is crosswalks or busy intersections. See, one thing you're going to have to remember as a visually impaired person, you have to listen to every single detail. So sometimes when learning how to do stuff, you don't need to talk. You don't have a conversation with somebody. The reasoning is so you can hear your surroundings and know what's coming up. Once you get the hang of it, or if you know your surroundings, if you know where you're at, it's a little bit easier. You can have a conversation. But you still got to listen carefully. Because see, what you're listening for is the traffic. You're going to be listening to where it's coming and where it's going. You're going to be also listening for the closest parallel traffic. Let me get a little bit more into detail. Okay, so say I'm crossing the road, as you can see in the video. I'm going to be crossing the road directly across this way. Well, I'm going to be listening for the traffic going across in front of me to stop. Then I'm going to be listening for my closest parallel traffic is across the street. So I got to be listening for that traffic to come across towards me, and then I will proceed to walk across. The reasoning for that is that traffic is going to block all of the traffic from turning and hitting me. So everybody is aware that I am crossing the road. Not just me saying, hey, you know, I'm the blind. No, I'm actually showing everybody that is driving, hey, I am proceeding across as a pedestrian, a visually impaired pedestrian. That's the point that I'm trying to get across by doing this. Okay, so same thing when you come back, but the parallel traffic in this case was moving with me. Bad thing is, neither of these videos that I got, I didn't get very good parallel traffic with me. As you can see, that lane was completely empty. It's the closest intersection to my house that I could find, and it wasn't too busy at the time. Okay, so as you can see, that was the white cane. But then I also said there's other ways to get around, right? Well, there is. One of those ways is human guide. That is one of the most simple and easiest ways for you out there to assist somebody like me. Okay? So instead of just walking up and grabbing somebody, for one thing, go up and ask them nicely. Say, hey, can I assist you in crossing the street? Or can I assist you in moving around? Or hey, do you know where you're going? Do you need some help? See, just by asking, I can either give you a yes or no answer. Then I feel in control, which is good, because being in my situation as a visually impaired person, sometimes I don't feel like I'm in control because, well, I can't see what's going on, especially when there's a lot of people. So if there's a lot of people, sometimes I might need some assistance. So come up and ask, and I'll tell you yes or no whether I need help. If I say yes, great. Next step is for me to either tell you, hey, let me grab your elbow, or if you already know, just turn sideways, and the best thing for me to do is just to reach out and find the bend in your elbow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grip that with a cup-like thing. I'm just going to cup it, so therefore I feel like I have control. Because see, if I had your shoulder, you could just keep walking away and I'd be stuck where I am. If I have your elbow, I can tug back a little bit to kind of let you know, hey, I need to move a little bit slower, or kind of push you a little bit so you know I can move a little bit faster. It's all depending on situation. But by doing this, you can just maneuver me through any situation. Also, one thing that might come up is a narrow passage, like a doorway, right? How do you get me through that? Well, all you have to do is say narrow passage, or let me know there's a doorway coming up. Just say that. And I will move my hand down from your elbow to your wrist. And then you can put your wrist or your arm directly behind you. So it also doesn't go from two people walking, it just is one right behind the other. So I'm actually following you, but keeping a hold of your wrist. And then I can go straight through. And then once we're done, you just say, okay, we're good. And then I move up back to your elbow, and we can proceed in moving on. It's really simple, really easy, and I love it. I seriously do love it when people come up and ask me, hey, can I assist you? Yes, it might get annoying for me sometimes, but at the same time, it's good knowing that you people out there, or not you people, just people out there are wanting to be helpful. Help those of us in the situation that cannot, you know, maybe get around on our own in certain, you know, if there's a whole bunch of people, I don't want to be swinging my cane around and hitting everybody. If you can assist me, go right ahead and ask. Any visually impaired person will either just tell you, no, I'm fine, or yes, hey, could I have your assistance? That'd be great. Okay, last thing is a guide dog. Guide dogs, okay, they are amazing. They're going to assist us in getting around quite efficiently. Cool thing about a guide dog is they will stop us from walking in puddles and stuff like that. With the white cane, we don't necessarily know when a puddle or something's coming up. It doesn't really give us a difference in texture, does it? It might give us a difference in resistance, and it takes a lot of time, but sometimes we step in puddles or other things that we don't know are there. Cool thing about a guide dog is they will ensure that we do not step in it. And then also, they will make sure that we stop at all points in traffic. If there's something proceeding to cross our way, they will stop us so we do not walk into it. Sometimes with the white cane, we walk in front of people and we don't even realize it. With the guide dog, they will stop so those people can cross and we can then continue. It's pretty cool in the fact that somebody has trained this dog, right, to assist us with so many different things. And it's just an amazing tool that we have as a visually impaired person. It's not a white cane, and it's not another person. It's a dog, which is amazing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video or learned something. That was the whole point of this video, is to get out there and let you guys know, hey, somebody in my situation as a visually impaired person might need some assistance. If not, hey, look at the mad skills that I got in getting around, right? All right, you know what, everybody? I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, like, subscribe, do all that. Comment below. I'm always looking for new material. I'm always looking to hear what you guys out there think about my videos. Hey, everybody. Also, you can check me out on Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the above social media platforms. I love them. You know what, everybody? Have a wonderful day. Please be ambitious. I'm going to catch you next time.